Hi guys, it's Mrs. Williams, and today we're going to look at solving equations with both distribution and variables on both sides of the equal sign. So let's get ourselves ready. Make sure you have your notes ready to go. Be sure that you are fit and you have checked your tech. Okay, so here we go. You'll notice on this page, I put a little diagram here to kind of help you out a little bit. Put our steps in another format. I keep trying to show you different ways to remember things because something will click for one person, but something different will click for someone else. So here's a little acronym. Don't call me after midnight, and please don't call me after midnight. All right, and the letters for don't call me after midnight stand for D is for distribute first, then C, combine the like terms, then M, move the variable to one side, and then when we do our opposite operations in the opposite order, we would be undoing addition and subtraction, or we'd be undoing, and then we would be undoing multiplication and division. So these two are part of our opposite operations, okay? All right, so hopefully this will help someone. Now, here we go. We have negative 3 times the quantity 8y minus 12 equals 300 minus 2y. So our first step is to distribute. We're going to take that negative 3 and we're going to distribute. Negative 3 times 8y is negative 24y, and negative 3 times negative 12 is a positive 36. And then we keep the other side, 300 minus 2y. Now, when it comes to like terms, our only like terms are on opposite sides of the equal sign. So we don't have to combine them on the same side. We have to decide which side we're going to move our variable to. Well, we've got negative 24y on the left and negative 2y on the right. Which side has the bigger number? Negative 2 is actually bigger than negative 24y. And it doesn't matter. Again, you can choose to move the variable to whichever side you want, but I'm going to follow my pattern of putting things where I have more y's. So this time I'm going to move my variables to the right-hand side. So here, the opposite of subtracting 24y would be adding 24y. And if I do that, that's going to give me, those will add up to 0, and I'll have 36 equals 300. And a negative 2y plus 24y is 22y. Now my opposite operations, okay, my opposite operations, if I was going to plug into 22, the first thing I would do is multiply by 22. Sorry, I'm plugging into the y. And I'd multiply by 22, and then I would add 300. So my opposite operations in the opposite order, I'm going to first subtract 300, and then I'm going to divide by 22. So I'm going to subtract 300 from both sides. What is 36 minus 300? That's negative 264, and that'll leave me with 22y on the right-hand side. Now, my next step was to divide by 22, right? Because that's what's attached to the y now. So we undo that. And when we do that, negative 264 divided by 22, and yes, you can use a calculator. That'll give you negative 12, and on the other side, your 22s will cancel out, and you'll have y. Negative 12 equals y, or if you prefer to write it y equals negative 12, they are equivalent. They are both perfectly correct. Awesome. Now, I'm going to show you how to check. Notice I'm saying check your work with the TI calculator, because when I give you a quiz or a test, I'm going to ask you to show your work. However, if you're taking a PSAT or an SAT or even an Algebra 2 Regents and it's a Part 1 question where they don't look at your work, yes, you could do this on the calculator and just get the answer. Okay, so it is possible. So I'm going to, now what I want you to realize is in your notes here, I've already put for you screenshots of everything that you would have to do in the calculator for both methods to check this, okay? I've got method 1 on the first page, then this method 2. There's the steps numbered for you with what to press, as well as the screenshots of what you would see. That way you can go back and look at this, okay? And then if you're solving problems, you can use this as a reference to help you check your work. I'm going to pause now and I'm going to go over to my calculator software and I'm going to walk you through those steps so you can see what it looks like and where I'm getting those button presses from. Okay? Okay, so that's how it works on the calculator. Now, let's try this equation. 22 plus 3x minus 9x plus 16 equals 2 times 5x minus 21. So the first thing we do according to our acronym is distribute. And yes, we do have parentheses, so we are going to distribute. I'm going to copy the beginning of the equation first. 22 plus 3x minus 9x plus 16 equals, now we distribute, 2 times 5x is 10x, and 2 times negative 21 is negative 42. Next step is to combine like terms, and we mean on the same side of the equal sign here. So notice how we have 3x minus 9x, that's negative 6x, and we have 22 plus 16. 22 plus 16 is 38. And then on the right-hand side, we still have 10x minus 42. Okay, so we've combined our like terms. Now we need to move the variable. Which side of the equal sign do you want to put the variable on? It doesn't matter. Your choice. You can go either way. I'm going to choose to bring my variables to the right-hand side because I have more x's on that side. So the opposite of subtracting 6x is adding 6x. So on the left-hand side, that's going to leave me with just 38. And on the right-hand side, 10x plus 6x is 16x. And I still have minus 42. Now we're ready to do our opposite operations in the opposite order. If we were plugging a number in for x, we would first multiply by 16 and then subtract 42. So the opposite operations in the opposite order, we would add 42 and then divide by 16. So I'm going to add 42 to both sides. Now 38 plus 42 is going to be 80. And I have 16x on the left side, on the right side, and those 42 and the negative 42 add to 0. Next step, we divide both sides by that 16, and 80 divided by 16 is 5. And here the 16's cancel out and we get x. So we have that x equals 5. And if you want, why don't you try using your calculator and check it. Use one of the two methods that we did before. Make sure that you understand how to check it. If not, that's going to be part of your question that you have for me, right? Because what you're going to do next is you're going to summarize. You're going to formulate a question for me, and then you're going to complete your post-video Google form. Okay, guys, have a good day, and I'll see you next class.